Hey guys, what's up? Today I wanted to do a tutorial for you on what I like to call subtle contouring. And this is going to be primarily for round faces because you contour different face shapes with different methods. But my face is predominantly round, so I'm going to show you how to contour for a round face shape. And what I call subtle contouring, I call it because you contour underneath the foundation. And there are other tutorials about this. Like with Gus, makeup artist, he did a whole thing about how Kim Kardashian does that. For me, that's way too complex. So I just wanted to show you what I do using drugstore items. So what I use for subtle contouring, and when I say subtle contouring, this is like you're not slapping bronzer on top of your makeup to contour your face like if you're going out for the night, okay? This is for if you need to make sure your face looks good, like let's say you're going on a date, you don't want to look too made up, or you're going on a job interview, or you're going, let's say you've got a crush at the gym, you're going to the gym and you want to look natural, but you still want to look good while you're at the gym. So this is sort of like what that is for. So what I use when I'm doing subtle contouring is you're going to need a much darker bronzer or a darker foundation than your skin tone. So I use actually, it's a Mark powder foundation and it's under Mocha Skin. And what you want to do is you take a brush. This is an Avon brush. It's supposed to be for blush, but I really just use it for contouring. And over time, it's sort of got a great contour shape. So what you want to do, get some of your dark bronzer or foundation on your brush. And then all you do for round faces is you want to make sure that you are contouring below your cheekbone and into that hollow. And if you're like me and you've got jowl action going on, you want to cover that up too. So if you have a very round face, you're not sure where your cheekbones are, just suck it in and you can see that line appear. So what you want to do is suck in your cheeks and then you contour through the shaded area of your face because that's the part of your face that you want to be in the shadows, especially if you have a rounder jawline like mine. You don't want to be contouring just part of your face and then you have a highlight or something or the sun hits your cheekbone. You've got a line of darkness and then you've got the roundness of your jawline because it's not very flattering. So if you have a round face, you want to be shading this entire area. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to do this because it's like, it's the opposite direction. So let me give this a try. And you want to make sure you go up into your hairline. And you know, some people say you shouldn't come past this line here. I find that I do, mainly because that's where my cheekbones start to really curve up, if you can argue that I even have cheekbones. And don't worry about this being dark or maybe a little orangey. Like this is pretty orange for my skin tone. But you should not worry about that at all because you're going to cover it up. So once you have your cheekbones done to your satisfaction, you want to do underneath your jawline. Now, if you're like me or if you're like most people, when you look down, you get a really attractive double chin. And in order to sort of disguise that or make it recede into the shadows, you just want to go a little bit underneath your jawline and come up where you stopped with your cheekbone. Okay? And then if you have gels like me, the best thing to do is stretch out your jaw and put some powder over the part of your jawline where you know it starts to go a little bit rounder. Okay? And that way you get much more definition through there. And obviously, don't go overboard with this. Even if it's just going to be underneath your makeup, you still don't want to go too crazy with this. Then, optional step, if you have a large nose like mine, take your brush into your bronzer And then what I do is I flatten this. You can also use a smaller brush like an eyeshadow brush or a smaller contouring brush. I use this because it's already got the bronzer on it and I'm lazy. I don't like cleaning my brushes a whole lot. So if I use this when it's already got the bronzer on, I'm fine with just cleaning this and I can just use my fingers to mush it into this shape. If you have a large nose like mine, you just come down the sides and you contour the sides and then a little bit underneath. If you need more powder, get more powder. And then you do the other side, okay? And this doesn't need to be precise because you're going to cover this up. And I'm sorry I keep looking away from the camera. I am shooting from a new angle and a new position, so in case you can't tell, I'm hanging out on the floor today because I don't have a table that's the correct height, and I've been finding my videos are kind of going crazy from that. So your next step after you've got your contour on is you want to use your foundation. You can use a blending sponge to put this on. You can use, you can use a stippling brush to put this on. I wouldn't recommend using a flat top brush because that's made for buffing it into the skin, and if you're using a powder bronzer like me, it's not going to buff in, and you're going to lose the effect. For Revlon Color Stay, I have really found the best way to put this on for me is with my fingers. And weirdly, not to powder afterward. I find if I powder this, even if I wait for 5 minutes so that it dries, it comes off like right away. So you get your foundation and you're just going to pat it all over the bronzed area, okay? And you're patting it at first, you're not just swiping it on your skin because you just want to cover the bronzed area of your face. You don't want to completely wipe it away because you're going to lose the effect. So you just pat it on, and then once you feel like you've patted it satisfactorily, you can then start smoothing it in, okay? And with Revlon Color Stay, you do have to work fast. And I've mentioned previously, I don't really like this foundation. I will state to you the only reason I've been using it, and at least certainly in this review, is because I'm really trying to use this up so I can get it out of my makeup bag. And when you're covering up where you have bronzed, please don't forget that you have bronzed back by your hairline and down along your jaw. And you need to make sure when you begin smoothing the foundation on your face that you bring it into those areas. And I know I say this in a lot of my videos. I don't know if anyone remembers me saying it, but I've said it before. I'll say it again. You don't want to look like you're wearing a mask. And the reason why I keep emphasizing that is because when I was in high school, years and years and years ago, there was a friend that I had who had pretty bad acne. So she would always just coat her face in foundation. And she would stop her foundation at her jawline. And she never somehow managed to cover down into her neck. And her foundation was a different shade than her actual skin because she was trying to hide the redness of her acne. And oh my goodness, guys, it looked like she was wearing geisha face paint or something every day, and that's not the effect she was going for. And it looked so bad, and I never said anything to her because she was the kind of person who would be like really offended if you told them that sort of thing. Me, I'd want to be told like, hey Kim, you know your foundation, yeah, you're not like, it looks like you're wearing a mask, and we can all tell. So just bring it down into your face. I'm not trying to be offensive or anything, but I never told her, and I've always kept that in my mind every time I do my foundation because you don't want to look like you're wearing a mask. It's not good. So, with that being said, also remember if you have a round face like mine and you did contour down underneath your chin, just take a tiny little bit of your foundation. If I can get it out, this bottle's so frustrating. And just smooth it around the base of your skin. Okay? So now I've got a nice contour to my skin that I did not have before. but it's very subtle. If I did the bronzer on top, it would be much more noticeable, and I frequently have the issue where bronzer turns up being fairly orange on my skin. Now for me, I don't use a highlighter typically because I just go to work and I'm not going to bother looking super fantastic at work. However, if you want a very, very fast, easy, budget-friendly way to highlight without buying an expensive highlighter, and you want to enhance the features of your face and your cheekbones if you have a round face like mine, guys, just use Vaseline. This is petroleum jelly. It's not even like the Vaseline brand. And just get some dabs on your finger, okay? And then just dot it on the upper part of your cheekbone. Don't smear it in or anything. Just dot, dot up. You don't want to put globs of it on, but you can see now exactly where I highlighted. If you'd like, you can do it down the center of your nose. I don't usually do that because I have such a greasy nose. And if you'd like as well, you can do it on your brow bone. If you, like, let's say you forgot to do your highlighter today for your makeup. If you just put a little bit of Vaseline on your brow bone, it will catch the light and it will make your eyes really stand out. And you can also do that in the corner of your eyes as well. And the great thing about Vaseline is, unlike regular highlighter, this stuff doesn't come off your face. So, I mean, if you like to rest your face in your hand like I do, you got to be really careful because it'll get all over your hand and it'll smear. However, it's going to last you all day. So that's how you do contouring and a little tiny bit of highlighting for round faces, and that's what I call subtle contouring for if you don't want it to be too obvious that you're sculpting your face into the desired physique. If you don't need to do this, power to you. However, for all my round face gals out there, I hope this helps you. And have a great weekend. Enjoy the sun. Summer's almost here, guys. Talk to you later.